Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Rule the Waves 2 as Austria-Hungary episode number 42 in the middle of this battle. That's right, so we had a really spectacular start to this one where I don't know what we lost, like a corvette to some bombing, torpedo bombing or, well, some kind of naval airstrikes. And our naval airstrikes, at least reportedly, we don't know right until the end of this battle, which is kind of the cool thing. I mean, they really get, and I really do appreciate, although it's frustrating sometimes, but it's after I'm frustrated, I walk around thinking, oh, that was cool, actually. It's cool that there is a fog of war in this, right? You know, your aircraft report, hey, we torpedo bombed a battleship, and then it's like, oh, by the way, that was actually a light cruiser. Well, it's a bummer when you learn the truth, but that's the reality of combat, right? This is a very well-documented thing as part of World War II. A lot of people reporting what they thought was true, and it wasn't exactly the truth. So, right now we're chasing down an Italian heavy cruiser, and this has definitely been the recipient of some kind of damage as she's trying to limp home. And that was exactly my intention, was to race down here with my heavy cruisers and try to capture. In fact, that's quite loud. I think we're actually just fine here. I don't think we actually need to do anything. This is probably already sinking. Indeed. So we'll cancel all the gunfire for a little bit. Move out of the way and we'll try to catch whoever's next in our path. I don't know if my light cruisers are going to react in time. So I'm not sure if this. It looks like we have another group of naval bombers, or another group of torpedo bombers making another airstrike. Hopefully they don't go after the. Okay, Pola. Who's Pola? Where are you, Pola? Just turn off gunfire until we're out of the way here. They're probably going to go after the Amalfi because they're ding dongs. It's already sinking! It's already sinking! That's fine. Okay, well, that's interesting, though, is what I saw. Unidentified ship fires 12 light AA guns. Now, yeah, okay, I was going to say there's two things that could be happening. They might be not going for the Amalfi, or this is kind of a bug. So it turns out that a sinking ship can still fire her guns. Even though she can't fire her guns in surface combat, apparently there's never been a check to see whether or not the ship is already sinking or sunk for being attacked by torpedo bombers. I mean, torpedo bombers can attack it, but they shouldn't put up a fight. Or, you know, maybe you can say that they should, but then maybe shouldn't they be able to fire their guns? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's easier to fire AA guns it is easier to fire AA guns than it is to fire. Okay, now we have a new target, and this is going to require our immediate attention. Oh, and it's another sinking one. So it turns out that our naval airstrikes have done quite a number on the Italian fleet. I mean, hopefully quite a number. Oh man, look at this. Let's dispatch the other light cruisers over to see what that is, but it looks like it's another heavy cruiser, potentially a battleship. We will make sure these are going down, okay? Looks like they are, and especially that battleship. So we'll just point our nose right at this person. Make sure that we get them before darkness occurs, and I guess darkness is occurring right now, so we'll peel back, and no point in risking any kind of poor engagement. Look, we have mines way out here. This is some really deep, distant mines. Okay, let's head back to port. So we're all good. We already got some of our ships back into port. Wait. No, where is my? There you are. You are not back in port yet, but you might as well come back down this way at squad max, so that we can very quickly recover those aircraft and get out of here. Okay, so here they are. Destroyers not having anything else to chase, I guess we'll just pump some torpedoes into these guys. I'm not sure if this one is sinking. I mean, odds are like 90% yes. But it apparently was a big ship. Now, this might end up being quite a nice victory. And this will have been won purely on the backs of our aircraft. Okay, so we have a Dante Alighieri. She's sinking. Alright, everyone. Go ahead and return home. The order is going out on the short range. Hit them with some more torpedoes just for target practice, I guess. We don't have to pay for those torpedoes anyway. So fair enough. And the Fürsten is, I think, recovering aircraft now. When she's done recovering aircraft, that is when, looks like she's done, that is when we will head back into port. Fantastic. Very good showing. Yes to all. Well, that was a nice way to begin this episode. Because I kind of, again, it's just, I don't know how to describe it, but I do have some feeling of like dread when I open up the game to record and I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of a battle. I just love the strategic map stuff so much more. Okay, looks like they may scurry on out after day breaks, because we have all gone to port, but they have not. Okay, never mind. They have. Oh, wow. So this was just, they have no carriers. So we, wow. What a victory. That was fantastic. So they did have a battleship. This is really exciting because from the perspective of like, if they had been in contact with our forces, they probably would have won. One battleship, I don't remember what the Alighieri was. We'll take a look. 12, 14-inch guns, very light armor. So you know what? I mean, we have a chance against this thing. 12, 14-inch guns is just going to destroy. Oh, it's just going to eat away at my heavy cruisers. It's possible with our 10-inch guns we could have got close enough to penetrate 8 inches of belt. We might have been able to sink it. Destroyers, whatever. What's the speed on this thing? Oh, 3 now. Its max speed was originally unknown. Yeah, I don't know. I think this must be the max speed is replaced by 3 when it's sinking, I guess. Because normally the max speed, it's like, I can only make 17 out of 21. Something like that. See? Current versus original. But original is now 3. So, I mean, yeah, that's not true. Yeah, and then we sank their 2, it says it's 13,000 tons, 2 heavy cruisers, and 14,000 tons. I think this was an extremely good result for us. And what's even better about this is it probably means from here on in, we're going to see the Italians decline even more battles. We just need to hope the French don't get involved. But that was really, really good. So let me say no to all here, but then go and revisit that, because I guess maybe it is worth putting some more airplanes on, or at least expanding our air bases. New torpedo bomber. Flying boat. Okay, so what do you got for us? Higher speed, better range. Firepower's up to, okay, so now we need to rebuild our fighter. When I see firepower of 6 on the flying boats, I know the firepower revolution has happened internally in the game. So it's time for us to get better fighters, which can also get like 6, 7, 8, whatever firepower. So, I mean, this is just in every way better. Hopefully it's also very reliable. But yeah, absolutely we'll take this. And as far as things go, we sank 12 merchants with no submarines lost. Remember that we are operating with only prize rules, but we're blockading them, so we're not expecting too many submarines to have targets. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, basically this war has gone, oh boy, well, has gone exceptional. Except for the fact that we have no budget. That's right. I did kind of talk about how we're going to try to work our way around this. And one possibility is just to stick it to the man and force him to suffer through our massive negative funds. I don't know what happens if you just completely disregard everything. Eventually you lose prestige enough. I guess it's just a prestige counter, which is kind of cool. What if you just lose like 2 or 3 prestige every month you're negative, and then you... What happens? Like, once you get down to like 17 prestige or 10, whatever it is, you're just retired. So you lose the game. I would like that system. Then there would actually be some merit to having prestige. You can like borrow against your prestige, which I like that. I like that idea. Now with the war with France, unfortunately, it's not that it's a guaranteed thing with only 8 and 10, right? No, 9 and 10. So it's not 11, so it means we have a little bit of wiggle room. We're definitely not going to go to unrestricted because it's too close. It's too close to call. We would like not to go to war with them, especially now that we are starting to build up a victory point lead, although I think Italy is just going to be... I mean, France, of all the people we can go to war with, is the worst from the perspective that they will contribute ships to the Mediterranean and probably force us to be blockaded instead of blockading. Kind of take a look at what Italy has left. So we sank half of their battleship fleet. Looks like they have another battlecruiser under construction, a very meaty one, 38,000. But the only other one they have left is 26,200, and well, I mean, we would be more than happy to meet that with any of our existing ones. I think all of our existing ones are over that and probably better designed, just because we generally think that our ships are better than the AI designs. And, you know, it's AI has a struggle to fit it doesn't think the same way we do, right? So yeah, we are at 40,000 more or less, and they are at like basically 2/3 that. So we should just decimate them even in a 1-on-1 fight, but it may end up happening that it's like a 2-on-1 fight. So that looks fantastic for us, and we do expect Italy will decline future engagements. But what do we do now that we have this really bad budget situation? What we could do is start putting some ships on reserve. And what I could do is actually put the Voss Sarkani. Like, we don't need her for this. I don't think we need her to even blockade, so we will mothball her. And that does save us quite a bit. We can probably put the Nikes on. I mean, we need enough to still blockade them, but I think that our advantage is significant. Oh, it's enormous. 2 heavy cruisers, light cruiser, an aircraft carrier, 12 destroyers. Yeah, so it looks like our destroyers alone would probably be enough to blockade. So we can put some of these like our armored cruisers, sorry, heavy cruisers onto reserve, which I think I will do. I think we might as well mothball. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. That saved us 1 more month. And how many months do we need to get? 9. Yikes! Oy vey. Okay, well, let's start doing some refits too. And then once they refit, we'll just, we'll just mothball them when they come back. So this is probably not going to be a change. I don't think we'll be changing anything here. Go to Advanced Director. Oh, yeah, I can't really. Well, the von Mercasse, she's 23. She has 11 mines. She's not contributing too much at this point. The Mozart is a lot better, having actually 25 knots to her, a lot more mines. I think what we're going to do is, von Mercasse, you guys have served us well. Thank you for your contributions. We will mothball you. Not mothball you. We will scrap you. So finally, after 30 years in service, 32 years in service, which, that's not crazy. There was some World War I ships that served during World War II, and that would have made them, 1910, 1940, 30 years. So this is not crazy, but basically it is around the time where you think about putting them into, sending them out to pasture, and that is what we'll do. So, a fine salute to the von Mercasse. They've served us well, and that's not going to help. Well, at least we have now 2 months where we can think about what the heck we're going to do. I also do want to refit the Mozarts, because these are the only light cruisers we have. But because they are the only light cruisers we have, we can't refit them. Okay, so we have to, it's the same kind of brutal questions we have to start asking about, like the Blunderbergs here. I think that these guys are just, oh man, they're pretty cheap for destroyers though. They have 5 torpedo tubes. You know, if they only had 4, they only have a 4 broadside, but 4 broadside is not even that bad. They're surprisingly not terrible for ships' destroyers. I mean, destroyers are one of the things you want to replace even more quickly, I would say. I think I'm just going to scrap the Blunderbergs. And we're going to do a little bit of an update of the Navy after this war. Hopefully we win big, maybe get some more money. We could definitely use it. So that's going to provide us 2 months of funding. And we have a lot of ships that we need to refit. We have a lot of destroyers, so we actually can refit these. Now these are both, I think, candidates for keeping. 6 torpedo tubes, this is already sufficient in my opinion to keep. So we'll just do a refit of the Austro-Hungarian something like that. Okay, anything we need to do? Well, honestly, dual purpose the guns. I didn't even think about that, but how much would this cost? What? Is it that simple? Dual purpose for main guns is not yet researched. Well, 3-inch guns are not the best for dual purpose anyway. So I guess these guys are not intended to be, I could, nah, yeah, this is too much work. We probably should send these into Northern Europe where their dual purpose nature will not be needed as much, or maybe it'll be needed more. I don't know, that's a good question. So let me look at the next ones. So oh wow, we accidentally got too many here. Whoops. Let me open these guys for refit. These are the ones with the 2 3-inch guys. So they're both the same. It looks like it is almost the same class. They were built, yeah, just a year apart. So I don't know what happened. What was the difference between these? Probably a little bit of, these are actually faster, short range. These are cramped accommodations. Okay, got it. So of the 2, I mean, they're both here. Okay, so we'll just, I was looking to see what the difference was. And then in my brain, I did a quick calculation just to, what was that brief pause about? I was trying to see if it was worth keeping one and not keeping the other. So we have short range ships. These Holz-Kohle Jaegers are probably good for the Northern Europe area. I think that's what they were designated for. The cramped accommodations one, those have to stay in the Mediterranean. But because they have medium range, not short range, they're more likely to appear in battles. Actually, at this point, we don't really care because with 6 torpedo tubes, them being 900 tons, they're really old. 3-inch guns. I mean, there's a lot of negatives for these, but I think we will keep them around. So what we'll do is just do the repaint, a paint job on those. These I think these both qualify as paint job refits. Because I can't easily get dual purpose on them since I would have to, first I would have to upgrade the guns from 3 to 4 inches, and then I would have to put 3-inch secondaries on. And that's, yeah, it's not going to work. Okay, coastal bombardment. So I don't want to accept this, but I will because I hope the Italians will decline. Enemy unable to challenge our forces in the area, gain 685 victory points. Now, in my opinion, if they accepted the battle, which is what they did, and then effectively had to decline for not having enough forces in the area, okay, it's fine. Because this was essentially just the decline cost. If I saw correctly, it was like 600 or so points. And I'm guessing it was 685 because it's probably the same as this for declining the battle. But attempting to join and then not having the chips seems like it would be worse. Like, in my head, I'm happy that it doesn't cause a difference in victory points because it's probably just a thing where, like, you as the player might be naive about your force distribution. Although I think it's fine to punish the player for being naive. Anyway, if you accept a battle, that means essentially, well, first of all, let's start off with a decline. Decline is basically saying, hey, we have this potential, disengage. An accept is, okay, continue with this. We'll continue with this operation, even though there's a chance that we'll run into the enemy. And then if you said, okay, continue with the operation and you didn't have ships, that should be punished more than not starting the operation at all. Okay, good. So this is, wow, perfectly timed. It may save our bacon, we'll see. 3-7. We won't let them get off lightly, because basically we're riding against the French joining. Oh, wow, okay, so well, I don't know what happened, but a peace is concluded with our side gaining large territories and considerable war reparations. To the tune of 10 points. Okay, so now we have 2 places we can take, and we're only going to take... Oh no. I'm pretty sure Morocco is not part... Oh my gosh. I can actually bring up a second version of Rule the Waves. Let me try to do that. I just want to show you this real fast. I'm running a second instance of Rule the Waves now. I'm playing as Italy. Like, of course, I loaded up a game that just happens to have... I'm an idiot. Didn't have to do this, but I loaded into it. This is, by the way, why I thought I had played Italy. I have a personal game as Italy, which is just for testing the auto-resolve simulator. Anyway, just my luck, right? I set this, and they've been doing this short bombardment. I've been like at this for like 20 minutes, just trying to end this damn battle. So we're already over the elapsed time. Just please, let me see the Mediterranean. Anyways, I'll come back when this actually does finish. Just my luck, though, right? Oh, it looks like we're probably good now. Oh, no, okay. Okay, so this is not our game, by the way. Make sure we all are aware of that. Morocco is in which one? So is it in Western Africa? Yeah. So it's just funny to me. We don't have any Italian holdings that can be taken. There's only Eritrea, which we really don't want, and Morocco, which would force our hands into the Western. So I think we're just going to take reparations. Okay, here we are back. Here we are back now as Austria-Hungary. Yeah, we're just going to take the reparations because we don't want either of these possessions. Okay. Bulbous bow. Reduce engine horsepower requirements. Okay, good. So we got some money and we're still barely floating. 2 months still after all that. But actually having the huge reduction, that's 2 months. And we haven't even mothballed everything, which the next course of action is to start mothballing the crap out of everything. We have a lot of refits to do as well. So let's get to the refits. I know, it's time to do it. Oh man, we really could use a little bit of better fight. I mean, if these are the light cruisers we're going with, we got to commit to them, right? We're definitely not going to win a fight. So these Mozarts are from 1913. I think that they're actually reasonable to keep around. However, we just need some way of getting the better fire control. They're not going to win fights without better fire control. Oh yeah. We can actually do it just fine. So take that to 34, and that's perfect. Man, mines are amazing in so many ways. Obviously, also amazing because they really easily allow us to decrease, they're a buffer, a weight buffer. It's quite easy to reduce the number of mines and put on advanced directors in this case. Okay, so we save. This is still going to be a pretty expensive refit. Why is that? Oh, just because of the advanced director? Yeah, it's quite expensive. Okay, that's still fine. I think it's worth doing. These guys will continue to serve us, I believe, until the end of the game. They have really good armor. 2.5 inch belt, 2 inch deck, so they're splinter free, short range, good mines. 25 knots is not like impossible to use. It's probably the minimum speed that I would allow into late game for a light cruiser. Obviously not compatible with the fleet speed, but it's okay for one-off designs. And in the Mediterranean, we have such a hodgepodge of crap. who really cares? If you can make anything over 20 knots, you're probably okay. So actually, those light cruisers will pair exquisitely. Oh, those light cruisers, let me recommend those, Monsieur, for they pair perfectly with the main battle fleet. Yeah, because we have these guys going 23 knots, 25. It's actually a great match. You still want faster light cruisers than your battleships, so that they can maneuver around even while the battleships are going full speed. But 2 knots, it's not much. I would prefer more. You know, you'd probably, for 23 knots, you'd probably rather like 4 knots over at least, 27 knots or so. 25 is still serviceable for such a slow battle line. Thank God we have such a slow battle line. It allows us to have such a slow light cruiser fleet. It's a really chicken egg problem. Well, if we have such slow battleships, then we might as well have such slow light cruisers. Oh, well, we can't get faster battleships because they'll outrun our light cruisers. Anyway, we're having fun. So what other refits do we need to do? There's no other old ships being reported. These were built in 1934, which is fine. These weren't built in 1934, but they were refit in 1933, which is perfect. 1934, these are even 1935 refit. And now we're getting to some of the ones, these were built in 1932, they're fine. 31, that's fine. And this is not okay. So we have 2 Metterniches left out of the whole fleet of them that we built at some point. These are getting a little, they're 10 years old, so we'll just refit them. Whoops. We would have 77 tons remaining if we rebuilt them now. I mean, designed them from scratch right now. Yeah, this is still a situation where we'd love to have dual purpose, but we're just going to refit them as is. Research-wise, this does make me want to go to put these on high priority because we do want dual-purpose guns for for destroyers as main armament. And we also want, so this is turrets, I think? No, this is AA, which I think we already have maxed. Yeah. Well, 2 things we want for destroyers, and I don't know which of these 3 categories they fit into. AA is probably the dual-purpose main armament, but I'm not sure. No, I'm sorry. Dual-purpose armament, I think that's either ship design or turrets and gun mountings, or maybe light forces and torpedo warfare. It's probably it's probably this one, actually. I'm not sure. It could be, no, I don't think so. Yeah, so anyways, it's probably one of this one, or it could be this one that allows dual purpose as main gun armament on destroyers. But the other one is getting 5-inch dual purpose guns, and that I believe is AA. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. It's okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, we can make this work, sure. If you are not being mothballed, you should go to reserve, and we probably are. I know it's sad, but we have to mothball like the faster ships since they are going to be proportionally more money per ton. And if we're not mothballing you, we have oh my gosh, the original design. Well, yeah, I have to say, if we scrap the other ones, then we're gonna have to scrap these guys as well. Okay, you will go to reserve, mothball. I'm not even sure if you'll stick around, Furkton. We probably should just scrap you. And now we're getting to destroyers, which we also will mothball. And I'm not sure, do we have enough? This is probably not enough tonnage to satisfy our tonnage requirements. We'll get all of these guys in the Mediterranean to go to reserve. Well, we prefer, let's do mothball, but I think that these are fairly, have I done the math on this? I thought at one point I did, but I actually don't remember what the result was. I don't know if it's better to put corvettes onto reserve fleet. So this 10 goes down for 600 tons. So let's just do the calculations. This is really easy. So for 600 tons, we have maintenance of 10, which means that every 60 tons is 1 point of maintenance. So 1 point of maintenance is 60, and here we have, let's do the math. Okay, so we have, let's put you back on active just for a second. 637 divided by, wait, sorry, divided by 637. Oh, it's almost identical, just slightly more expensive. Now that compared to our, these guys are probably going to take the cake. Okay, so now we have, I mean, we already see that it's almost, yeah, it's definitely not going to be working out. These are not, these are going to be worse, probably like 60, well, over 61. let's hope. That's a very conservative guess, but. Right. That's, I was going the wrong way in my head. So we want higher points because you want more tonnage. This is tonnage per maintenance point. So this is only 48 tons per maintenance point, whereas both the corvettes and the battleships were, because they're slow, were both about 60 tons per maintenance point. So I think what we've done is the correct thing here. We want to mothball all these guys and we'll just keep all of these on reserve fleet, which means the corvettes are also great candidates. And I think that the destroyers, I mean, since we're doing this, let's go full bore and do the full analysis. Let me get one of these guys, the most modern one, because I think that'll be the most expensive. I mean, 1500, this is going to be abysmal. Yeah, just as bad, basically. So when you make, hey, guess what? When you make fast ships, they're very bad tonnage per maintenance. But that's, I mean, that's, I think, a known thing. So we'll mothball all destroyers, and we'll mothball all heavy cruisers, and then we can keep reserve fleet. I don't know if we might have to activate some more things. But the Furchtons are actually really slow, so let's put this on reserve, even though I don't really care about its crew quality, which was my motivation to mothball it. Let's also go to the air groups and put all onto reserve. That's going to save us some money. We're actually already neutral, so that means we don't have anything more we need to do, but we have a lot more of these Mediterraneans. Oh, we're going to take a lot of these off mothballing. I guess what we'll do is we'll mothball first, and then we'll start unmothballing the corvettes, starting with the corvettes. We'll do the 900-ton ones that don't have colonial rating first, so these will be the first to be unmothballed. And we have Northern Europe, which that has to stay there. Good. Okay, so let's see how are we doing. Fair enough. Here we go. Let's do like in chunks. Okay, let's try to get another chunk. We can do this all day, Kaiser. All right, looks like we're going to be doing this all day. I have some gut feeling that the tonnage, the 900-ton ones are slow. Being slow means that they are more maintenance efficient, but I'm not sure that's true. So I was trying to do the non-colonial ones since those are probably also more maintenance efficient. Oh, we did it. Perfect. And we actually are positive on budget now. Oh, we finally have superimposed beam mounts on light cruisers. That means we could probably build a light cruiser. Look at that. That's actually fantastic. So what are we doing now? We don't have anybody stealing stuff. Let's try to steal some stuff. And then let's go... let's just resume construction on this guy and keep our budget, our funds basically at the 0 mark. Now this is a little problematic. The destroyers getting back from their refits, it does actually complicate our math. So these guys are mothballed. Now mothballing these guys is like a little bit tricky since we might actually be mothballing beyond the halfway point again, which means we'll have to take more corvettes off of mothball status and more into reserve, which is okay. I think that's going to happen. It's amazing to me actually that our budget is not so negative. Okay, that's what I thought. We'll just do these. It's fine. I know I think I could probably min-max a little bit better, but hey, there it is. Just fine. This Navy is putting strange mattress-like antennas on their ships. Well, let's copy that, please. The aviatic company has developed a dive bomber as a private venture. Okay, so dive bombers. Yeah. Worst range. This is actually abysmal range. Much, but of course, because it's a much better bomb load. Huh. I'll take it. I'm not sure if 120 is serviceable. Actually, I should have just taken half a second more to look and see what was the medium range on it, because I think it carried the same medium bomb load as the heavy bomb load of our current one. It obviously has better speed, so probably, I didn't look, but I think it has better combat statistics overall. So you can launch it at medium range. It's probably the best thing to do is just to say yes to that, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so active fleet. These guys are back. We'll mothball them. Any other active fleeters? You active fleeters, you. Yeah, we do have active fleet people. These guys, so what is your ratio? Let's actually find out. Oh yeah, you guys definitely need to be mothballed. Yeah. Mothball, and then we'll probably have to take... Well, this is actually going to mean like almost every one of our corvettes has to go onto reserve, I would guess. So let me see if that's enough. We're actually making money. The fact that we're making money means it's time to design a new light cruiser. We really, really do. Really need one. Wait, do we have triple... A director for secondary gun not developed for ship smaller. Okay, that's fine. So this is actually legal. We can do triples. And I think I remember getting that development pop-up. Okay, so we want dual purpose 4-inch guns, maybe even 5-inch guns. No, 4-inch guns because we don't have 5-inch dual purpose. And then we'll get this up to as high of a number as we can. We're going to start making our light cruisers kind of like heavy light cruisers. Let me see. Topside space, that's fine. Okay, honestly, this is fantastic. That means that we can get away with... Can we get away with this many? Okay, fine. We'll address this in a moment. Ta-da, we addressed it. We want more torpedoes as well. So what do we have? JK, let's get FG. Yeah, we'll get the whole kit and caboodle. Let's go with 2. This is pretty light. Let's go to 1.5, 2, 3, 2.5. Okay, so let's see how we can make this work. Unit machinery, yes. Magazine box. Incline belt. I mean, I always do incline belt. I just think it's always better to do. We have 30 mines, which hey, let's just get the most we can, and that is the most we can. Turns out. Okay, wow, fantastic. This works. 31 knots, you gotta be, well, let's see, how much does it save? 121, it's basically 300 tons we save for getting that extra knot. We might be able to get away with doing this thing at 31 knots, which is crazy talk. Yeah, it looks like the, maybe with the bulbous bow and all that, it looks like the break point is right around here. So 300, and that's like another, it's 400. So for some reason, there's a nice min-max little bump, a weird bump. For some reason, going from 29 to 30 is more weight intensive than going 30 to 31. We aren't sure why. We don't ask questions. I mean, this is done with analytical formulas and all that under the hood, which we just kind of, you know, just acknowledge that they are there and that they are not perfect. So how does this look? Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so this is like, what a design. What a design. I can't believe that we can get away with this. This just seems, we want that. It goes up from 30 to 59. So that's fine. We'll drop this by 16. Oh no, we have to do math on camera. It's such a dangerous thing doing math on camera. I guess I would prefer if this had 4. Okay, so we have 9 guns right now. I'm pretty sure that this is the most efficient we can get in terms of turrets, but I'm thinking, what if we did like a 3-3-2-3 or something like that, or a 3-2-2-3? That would only get us up to 10 guns, though. So you know what? This is fine. This is still a 9-gun broadside, which is going to be... I mean, essentially there's going to be 2 types of light cruisers. I mean, there's 2 types of people in this world. The people who can break down things into groups of 2 and, you know, everyone else. Yeah, so I'm just going to set an arbitrary distinction for a second. There's 2 types of light cruisers going at this point in the game. There's going to be ones which have like this ability to fire, like the multi-gun turret centerline light cruisers. And then there's going to be things like the Mozart, which have the old configuration, a lot of single turret guns. And essentially anything with these like doubles down the center line, or, I mean, because probably there's other light cruisers probably out there with 4 double turrets down the center line, stuff like that. So all of those are going to compete against each other. And of those, this is going to be a great light cruiser just in general. It's going to do everything well. Actually, part of me even would consider getting a 2-inch deck, just because this will help against dive bombers for a small amount of time before 2 inches of deck just becomes so small that even any kind of dive bomber in the world will penetrate that deck. We might already be at that point in the game. I don't really have a feel for what the evolution of penetration of the dive bombers is. 1937, but with 80%. I don't think so. I feel like even a 2-inch deck right now should be helpful. I do remember getting those bombs dropped against our battleships way back when we lost them in the Baltic, and some of them still did damage, so yeah. Okay, anyways, what's the next thing we should do with this thing? Let me do a little bit of tweaking right now. I'll just see, 51, 53. I might go up one more just to get the extra mines. Oh, we can only get 62. I wonder why it's not letting me. Maybe that's the max. Anyway, I think we're going to call this video to a close here. Let me just finalize it. Give me a second to pick up a name. Well, I've run out of time on this episode, but I will give a name and finalize the design so you guys can critique it. By the way, I think I will go back to 8500 and just take the small hit on the mines. And this will be the Graf Palfi. And this is in honor of Mr. Mangini, a long-time, member of the series, the Rule Waves clan. So that's his ship submission name. We didn't get too many light cruisers. We had a lot of light cruiser name submissions. Normally there are a lot of light cruisers, but in this one, for some reason, or maybe it just generally this is going to be the trend that there weren't that many light cruisers. Well, normally there's a lot because I don't usually do heavy cruisers, but I've kind of brought heavy cruisers back for this series. Anyhow, that's be the design. We'll save it. Oh yeah, it doesn't have. See, so no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna have these guys have. It'd be better for them than heavy cruisers, though. Oh man, we need catapults. No, I don't. I'm not gonna do it. These guys are gonna be not for scouting. So, let me know your thoughts on that, and I'll catch you back for the next episode. Until then, stay safe, take care, and goodbye.